I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
VaynerMedia, VaynerX with Pure Wow and 1:37 p.m. now. It's a $200 million enterprise I built from scratch.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a good businessman.
Yeah.
Like, I think people forget that a little bit.
Yeah.
I like that part a little bit. I think I like being underestimated.
Yeah.
And I think the explosion of Garyvee in the last 18 months has a lot of people underestimating how much of a businessman I am, not just a personality.
Yeah, but that's going to benefit you later.
100%.
You know what I mean? And you know what? I'm just going to ask this question now.
Please.
This is one I wrote down. One thing that you wrote that I thought was really dope was, or said, or something was, everyone said you were the wine guy until you weren't.
Yeah.
What is everyone saying that you are now?
I think
you're not.
I think 50% of the people in the world think I'm a motivational speaker.
Yeah. And how will they see you differently in 10 years?
That was one of the greatest businessmen of all time who happened to be motivational.
Yeah.
And honestly, let me say it a different way. I think I will be one of the most respected entrepreneurs ever. And I'll tell you why. I don't know if I'm going to make the most, let me phrase, I'm not going to make the most money, right? Elon Musk and Zucks and Bezos and Meg Whitman, there's tons of people that are, going to do it bigger. What I think I'm going to do is give back more to the game. The people that are really in the billionaire girls, boys club, they're not in the trenches like I am. They're not spitting fucking eBay flip tactics. They're not doing podcasts because they know they're going to reach different people. They're not in it.
Yeah.
They're in their ivory towers.
Yeah.
In their fucking, this morning, 6 a.m., I did a little snap, just sitting at the airport. I mean, fucking 100 people are like, yo, why don't you fly private? Yo, don't you have a fucking club, membership with all the miles you put in?
Yeah.
And I replied, I'm like, I do. I'm like, but it's fine sitting here too. Like, I'm not fucking fancy.
Yeah.
And
do you think it keeps you hungry? Because I also, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't consider myself very fancy. I've been doing this a long time.
Yep.
Flying private is one of the things that I would just love to be able to do. And my question is, do you just feel the
smart
hunger
it's
more?
Practical.
Yeah.
And I've definitely flown private more in the last year than I have in my whole life because it saves me time, and time is valuable. To me, it's like if I don't have to fly private, I definitely don't. I'm not fucking. Who am I fucking flying private for?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. How about this? I flew to Cannes private the other day.
Yeah.
And it sucked because the beds in first class American make a flatbed, and the private shit is kind of still a little bit old school. Yeah. It was a fucking $1 trillion plane, but it was still not a fucking bed the way I liked it. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, I wish I went fucking American.
Yeah. I get it. Okay, so let me
just stay on that for 1 minute because I have a great sense of who listens to this.
Yep.
If you are doing anything because you give a fuck about what the other person seeing it thinks, you are losing.
Agreed. It's not about, for me.
Period.
Let me say
That's
me to you.
That's it, by the way.
What?
So if you're flying private because you love it, Andy Frisella, buddy of mine, he loves Lambos. And I know he does.
Yeah.
So I'm like, good. You win.
Yeah.
Right? Like, to me, your point, that's why I made that point.
Yeah.
If you want to fly private, if you fly private because your time's become so valuable, smart. If you fly private because, fuck it, it makes you super happy. Like, your dream of dreams is like, this just makes me fucking smile in my stomach.
Yeah.
Then good.
Yeah.
But if you fly private because you want to put that Instagram photo up and you want to project a persona, it's going in the wrong direction. Yeah. You're tied up in the wrong thing.
And so you just genuinely, at the core of you, don't give a shit about just being on an American lay flat.
Not that part, right? Like, I give a shit about being liked, which is why people like me.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely give a shit about being liked, so that's why I build a real community. That's why I'm putting out good shit.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't want to spend money on things that I don't value. Yeah. So, for example, if I value my health like I did 4 years ago, I have a full-time trainer. He flies with me. It costs me money to fly my trainer to LA and work out this morning at fucking Equinox like I did. Like, I'm spending money, but I'm spending money on what matters to me.
Yeah.
And for example, I don't even talk that much about having a trainer that travels with me. I have a funny feeling the people I'm referencing in this thing, if they had a trainer traveling with them, they'd have a post of that every time. Be like, hey, Rick, isn't it awesome to be in Mexico?
Yeah.
I paid for Rick to be in Mexico because I'm a baller. You fucking asshole. I think what I did smart was I deployed self-awareness 8 years ago and said, I have to build a machine that's the scalable version of me.
Yeah.
So that when I buy smart water on the decline, when I buy Rolling Rock the beer, when I buy this shit,
Yeah.
this thing that I will become the CEO of.
Yeah.
So my executives at Vayner, somebody will become the CEO, right? Andre will become the CEO, Marcus, Jeff Nichols, like somebody's gonna become the CEO. And then I will be the CEO of a business that I buy for a couple $100 million, that I will sell for $2 billion, and I'll be off to the races.
Is that what Pure Wow is for you?
Pure Wow is actually part of the machine.
Yep.
So that's publishing, right?
Yep.
1:37 p.m. now, a mail's brand. That's part of the machine because I'll use those entities to vig whatever the fuck I care about.
So there's no brand yet. And
There
what
is
do you
no-
do now? Like, what is your? Are you constantly looking right now?
Yeah, but everything's expensive because the economy's too fluffy.
Yeah. So you're gonna wait.
I
a
need
couple
everybody
years
to go work
and
at
just
Citibank.
buy
Got
it
it?
up. Yeah.
I'm like a snake in the grass right now, which is crazy because I'm loud as fuck right now.
Yeah.
But in my head,
Yeah.
I'm incognito right now,
Yeah.
which is why I know I've won. If everybody thinks I've won or I'm winning right now,
Yeah.
and I think I'm dog shit right now,
Yeah.
and I'm still laying low,
Yeah.
and I'm just jockeying and putting the pieces together, well then I'm fucking coming out like a phoenix
Yeah.
in 2025.
Yeah, that's what I see from my perspective. I see, and obviously we've been involved in TV and all
Yep.
these different things, right? So I see what you've done. I see the platform you've now built. I see it not as at the height. I see it as like, all right, you're lined up to do the thing. What is it going to be? You know, I can't wait to see the next.
And it might be IP. You know, like I might buy like Snorks. Remember Snorks? Those fucking like, you gotta be old kids. Most of the people listening now are like gonna have to Google it.
Yeah.
Snorks were like under the water Smurfs back in
The
'84.
cartoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna buy some old IP maybe.
Yep.
I don't know, but I'm gonna buy something and flip it.
Got it.
Because that's what I do. Whether it's
Yeah.
buying fucking He-Man toys for $8 at a garage sale and flipping it for 42, or buying some wine and flipping it, or baseball cards. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have one big fucking flip.
Yeah.
Speaking was working for me, and I was like, you know what would be rad if I just did Q&A, because that's where I'm my best. Like if you ask me where I'm at my best, it's Q&A. So I was like, man, I'm gonna do a show about Q&A that may parlay into me being able to just do Q&A keynotes. That was the master plan.
Got it.
So I hired D-Rock full time. We started a YouTube show called the Ask Garyvee Show, and it starts popping a little bit. At the same token, Casey and others have the vlog thing going, first person.
Oh,
And
nice that.
Right.
Yep.
And D-Rock's like one of these fucking, video nerds like Babin, all these fucking kids. They love this shit. They grew up with it. They love Casey. They love all this shit.
Yep.
And he's like, you have to do this. You have to do this. I'm like, dude, I'm not fucking walking around with a camera in my hand. And somewhere, somehow, some moment, I'm like, you should follow me around.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting on it actually for a little bit because I was like, oh, that's super douchey. Like, am I really going to go like reality TV on the world without like really doing reality TV?
Yep.
I'm like, that may not play. But then finally, back to not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to be right. And a lot of people are going to do this in 2 years. And I'm going to be you just did it for me. You literally, in the start of this episode, did what I knew would happen 3 years ago, which is I'm going to get credit for starting a trend that
100%.
everybody's going to do. Because it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. It's not just a good idea for building your brand and all that. It's a good idea because it's going to be fun to look at when you're fucking old.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait to watch fucking, when Babin's 73 and looks like dog shit, I'm like, dude, you were so young at 20. Look at you. You're fucking amazing. Like, it's going to be, I mean, all the cool shit I did in 2005 to 2010, I spoke to Facebook when there was 300 employees.
Yeah.
That'd be cool to reference.
Yeah.
Like, I was super right about Instagram being a steal for $1 billion. I have one lucky moment on CNN where I'm like talking that shit, but I would have had 3 months of talking that shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be right about voice, right? And in 7 years, when voice and everybody's trying to figure out their voice strategy and their Alexa skills and all that, I'm be like, yo, look at the recall in 2018 when I fucking predicted this shit.
Yeah.
And then people will be like, oh fuck, like it just works.
Yeah.
And then most of all, my grandkids are gonna be like, hey, Grandpa, Gary, like I talk like you, or I have that mannerism, or I make that smirk, or that's why little Sally fucking does that thing.
Yeah.
And that's just like, why do we like looking at pictures of our grandparents?
Yeah.
This is way better.
Yeah.
If you like me,
Yeah.
I've done something nice for you.
Yeah.
I've gotten you to be less insecure. I've gotten you to finally tell your parents to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
I've gotten you to like do the thing you've been dying to do.
Yeah.
I've gotten you to put your situation in perspective. Here's my big thing. If you've heard me, you're already in a good spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you've ever heard me, it means you have internet.
True.
You
Probably
have
a nice iPhone.
You have a smartphone.
Yeah.
Like, go sell your phone. Like, so you're already in a decent spot. And so my big thing is perspective.
Yeah.
Like, you could be dead. You could be not alive at all. You could, like, whatever you, my mom lost her mom when she was 5.
Yeah.
Her mom died. My mom was being raised in the Soviet Union. Let me just break it down for everybody. Bad. Like, bad. 1962 Soviet Union. It's bad. Like, I know Mississippi's bad. I know there's a lot of places that are bad in America. It's bad. Like, Stalin was killing everybody. Like killing everybody.
Yeah.
Okay? Next. Her dad then goes to jail for a decade for being Jewish. That's how it rolled in the Soviet Union. Listen, we got real fucking race problems and gender problems in America. Forget about Supreme Court. You're mad at them right now or all this other shit. Like, in Russia, you just got scooped up and sent to Siberia. So now her dad's ghost. She's also living in one of the small Jewish towns in Russia, post-World War II, where everybody blamed Jews for World War II. So all the millions that died, yeah, that's your fault. And grandpa, after he lost his wife, after my mom lost her mom, he goes a little bit like gangster and marries like a young non-Jewish girl, which is like a scandal in all of town. So now mom lost her mom, dad's in jail, and she's being raised by a young non-Jewish woman, which ostracizes her from the whole environment. And her 5-year older brother is really her 5-year younger brother, right?
Yeah.
My mom then has a kid at 20, moves to America with nothing. Her husband has to work the next 15 years every minute and never sees him, and raises 3 kids with no help. We go on one family vacation my whole life. My mom never complained once. So when I sit here and I'm like, why do I get so pissed that people complain? And by the way, Fabin, you've been with me. I've never really said this in this way. So I'm glad I'm saying it on your podcast because I'm going to point to it and make sure everybody listens. Now I know why I hate complaining. Because if my mom doesn't complain, who the fuck are you?